A giant ship's engine broke down and no one could repair it. So they hired a mechanical engineer with over 30 years of experience. The engineer inspected the engine very carefully from top to bottom. He didn't rush. He walked around the massive engine room, checking every component, listening to every sound, and studying every detail. The ship's crew watched in silence, wondering what he was looking for. After all, dozens of technicians had already tried and failed. Some had spent hours replacing parts, others ran countless tests, yet the engine remained dead. The engineer continued his inspection. He examined pipes, gears, valves, and connections. He listened closely to the machinery as if it was speaking a language only he could understand. Finally, after hours of observation, he nodded. After seeing everything, the engineer unloaded his bag, pulled out a small hammer, and gently knocked a mechanical part. The crew looked confused. That was it? No complicated tools? No expensive replacement parts? No major repairs? Just a small tap with a hammer. But moments later, something incredible happened. The engine began to vibrate. The lights flickered. The giant machine slowly came back to life. And within seconds, the engine roared back to full power. The crew erupted with excitement. The ship owner couldn't believe what he was seeing. A problem that had stopped an enormous vessel and defeated countless experts had been solved with a single tap. A week later, the engineer mentioned to the ship owner that the total cost of repairing the giant ship was $20,000. The owner was shocked. $20,000? For a few hours of work and one tap of a hammer? He immediately requested a detailed invoice. The engineer gladly provided one. The invoice read, tapping with hammer, $2. Knowing where to tap and how much force to use, $19,998. Suddenly, the price made perfect sense, because what the owner wasn't paying for was the hammer. He was paying for 30 years of experience, 30 years of mistakes, 30 years of learning, 30 years of failures, challenges, problem-solving, and accumulated knowledge. The truth is, expertise is often invisible. People see the result. They don't see the years behind it. They see a successful athlete lifting a trophy, but not the thousands of hours spent training. They see a surgeon complete a life-saving operation in an hour, but not the decade of education required to gain that skill. They see an artist create a masterpiece in a day, but not the years spent mastering the craft. And they see an engineer solve a problem in minutes without realizing it took decades to learn how. This lesson applies to every profession and every area of life. Many people underestimate their own value because they compare their years of experience to someone else's few minutes of observation. But expertise is one of the most valuable assets a person can possess. The more knowledge you gain, the more efficiently you can solve problems. The goal isn't to work harder forever. The goal is to become so skilled that you can achieve better results with less effort. That's the power of experience. It's why businesses hire experts. It's why companies pay consultants. It's why specialists earn more than generalists. Because when a critical problem appears, knowing exactly what to do is worth far more than simply working hard. Remember this whenever someone questions the value of your work. If you can solve a problem quickly, it's not because the problem is easy, it's because you've spent years learning how to solve it. As the engineer wisely demonstrated, the real value isn't in swinging the hammer. The real value is knowing exactly where to swing it. If I do a job in 30 minutes, I spent 20 years learning how to do that in 30 minutes. And therefore, you owe me for the years, not for the minutes. If you made it this far, drop a in the comments. It shows you're part of the small percentage of people who actually finish what they start. And tell us, what's a skill you've spent years mastering? If you're not following Never Tomorrow, you're probably never going to see us again. If you are, then congratulations. You're growing every day.